Heyman will present the next special award. Bill Heyman from Marlborough, New Hampshire. Bill started calling in 1978 and joined CALLERLAB in 1983. This is his 28th CALLERLAB convention. Bill is a lifetime member of CALLERLAB and a milestone recipient and a really nice guy. My friend, Bill Heyman.
Good evening, friends. Smart, thoughtful, modest, loyal, caring, professional, great teacher, dedicated to square dancing, supportive, open-minded, and lived above the storm. The wonderful, sweet, talented individual I am talking about is the late Dick Henschel. Born on April 11, 1950, he lived with his mother in a small apartment on the second floor of a commercial building. In 1967, while he was still in high school, he needed a part-time job to help his small family survive. And he looked at several possibilities in the neighborhood, but to no avail. He noted, however, that there was an interesting electronics shop on the ground floor of his building, right beneath his apartment. So he went in after school and asked for a job. The owner liked him, immediately gave him the job, which he so dearly needed. So began Dick's career at Hilton Audio. He lived above the storm. He began with the obvious menial tasks, but soon proved to Jim Hilton that he was smart, dedicated, willing to work hard, and to learn. After a year in junior college in Oakland, Dick enlisted for a 4-year tour with the United States Air Force. In 1969, Jim told him as he was departing that he could return to Hilton Audio, especially if he learned about electronics while in service. Learn he did, and returned in 1973 to Hilton Audio with all of his new skills for what turned out to be a lifelong career. Maxine Mork, the wife of Jim Mork, both of whom were with Hilton for many, many years, met a young woman by the name of Vicky at a hoedown and invited her to come to a dance at their club. Maxine's intent was really to get her to meet Dick. Maxine knew Dick would be at the dance. Vicky went to that dance and was sitting on the sideline next to a friend of hers, and she noticed this really good-looking guy headed her way, obviously looking for a dancing partner. She watched him with great anticipation, as you could well imagine. And at the last minute, Dick turned and asked the woman sitting next to her. Although crushed, she maintained her composure and does to this day on that day, despite her disappointment. Do you recall that I previously mentioned that Dick was smart? The next tip, Dick headed straight for Vicky, asked her to dance, and he never left her side from that moment on. They were married on March 23rd, 1975, and spent the next 40 years together, both in marriage and at Hilton Audio. Tomorrow would have been their 41st anniversary. While Dick worked for Hilton, he was an electronics technician, helped design, test, and repair products. Later, he became head technician, handled purchasing, and went to the various conventions with the sales booth. Vicky also joined Hilton and actually succeeded Maxine Monk in the office. Dick became president of Hilton a few years before Jim Hilton retired to travel the U.S. in his large RV. In 1986, Jim sold the company to Dick and Vicky. and they both continue to work very hard, contributing to the technology, even in an ever-shrinking market. Vicky told me that he had very wide interests outside of square dancing. He had talent for landscaping design, interior design, shown and supported by a number of home remodeling projects and revamping the landscaping at each house they owned. Vicky referred to him as her Renaissance man, one of her highest forms of compliment. Alan Hurst, who I believe is here, a well-known caller in the gay community, said the following about Dick. Dick was always happy to take time out during the day to talk with any caller about any aspect of audio or performance. This included helping callers choose the right equipment. Alan continued, to Dick, a dancer was a dancer and a caller was a caller, and his personal orientations didn't really enter into the equation. Whether a caller or club was straight or gay simply didn't matter. All he cared about was making sure that every caller had the information necessary to call, as well as the possibility to provide the tools for entertaining his or her dancers. Such was his love for square dancing. Dick was one of the early callers to call for a gay club. That is an honor I shared with Dick, having myself in the mid-1980s been the first live caller to call for Times Squares in New York City. In 2015, after 5 months of chemotherapy for mantle cell lymphoma, a relatively rare blood cancer which unfortunately I'm personally familiar, Dick's white cell count skyrocketed. On Sunday, October 4th, Dick collapsed in his home and was rushed to the hospital. Several hours later, after much testing and examination, they determined that he had a massive abdominal infection resulting in sepsis, a life-threatening response to that infection. While discussing the situation with the doctors, Vicky teared up. Afraid that she was going to lose the love of her life, Dick reached out through the bed rails and took her hand and told her, everything will be all right. In the midst of his major medical crisis, he was more concerned about Vicky's well-being than his own. While holding hands with the woman he loved more than anything else in the world, Dick closed his eyes at that moment and passed quietly and peacefully. The inscription on this award reads, in grateful appreciation for your support and outstanding contribution to square dancing. That's really only part of his life story. Please join me in celebrating Dick's wonderful life and contribution to square dancing over so many years. Since you are all his friends, may I ask you all together as a group to accept this award on his behalf. Thank you.